Ah, the moment of truth.
Oh,
Here we go.
oh my God.
This is it. Um, I don't know what.
You're making it worse.
Well, I mean, I knew it was okay. Well, first of all, I guess I should be all professional and do the
Yes,
intros.
do the intro. Let's drag this out.
First of all, to all of you listening, not only in the US, all over the world. I'm surprised when I look at my streams and see that we have people in like Brazil and Russia
Wow.
and stuff like that listening to this crazy, wacky podcast. Welcome to Sexy Party. I am your host, Antonio Bryce. I am the creator of the comic book series Brand, which is currently on Indiegogo. We have raised over $68,000. Uh,
Wow.
yeah, less than 400 away from cracking that 69K.
Oh,
And we are
yes.
currently streaming not only on YouTube, we are on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, TuneIn, Stitcher, and our newest partner, iHeartRadio. For all of our new listeners, we are very, very happy to have you. But now, let's recap the previous episode, which is called Under the Sea. During that episode, uh, I began as I normally do, and I'm very self-effacing, and I was talking about the size of my penis and that I was not satisfied with it,
Right.
and I've been telling Anna this for several years that I am just not very packed in the jeans, and that she laid out a challenge, and she said that she wanted me to send her a picture of my mini me.
There's only one way to know.
Yeah, yes. So the evaluation is here. Um, I made a request of Anna. I was like, um, if I've got to send her a picture of my member, then she would have to send me a nice picture of her tatas. I thought that she would rebuke this and not deliver, but
Up delivers.
yeah, she delivered. She delivered like Domino's and Pizza Hut, and I obviously delivered as well. So the pictures have been exchanged,
You
and
need to give your review first
what fun would that be?
because because it's your show.
It's our show.
I'm just going to make up reasons until you agree. So
Oh
you
my.
should
Okay.
just handle it
Well.
cuz I'm not ready.
Okay. Okay. You know.
Or rather you're not ready.
Oh. Oh man. That almost sounded like the critique right there.
I
I'm
love
not
you,
ready.
sir. You know
Uh,
that?
mm.
I think you are a wonderful person.
Oh man. That's what chicks always tell me when they don't want to bang me.
So charming.
Oh god. Uh,
Your imagination is incredible.
oh. Anna, I can tell you that my tongue works perfectly
I
fine.
believe you. I'm
Uh,
positive it does.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. So that. Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. So let.
I'm gonna
Oh
cry.
God. Okay.
I'm
So
gonna cry.
yeah, I General Devereaux, were you fully engorged in the picture? Um, I
He
was.
sent one that where it was in its natural state,
Oh,
and then others where he was in a state of arousal. So there were three photos
oh,
to choose from.
I'm so embarrassed.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
and
die. I'm
okay,
gonna die.
okay. I can't believe I'm even talking to you now. After I was like, I should have just blocked
You
you
should
and
have just,
avoided you
yeah.
for the rest of my life. And yet I'm here suffering through this humiliation.
You know
For
what?
the,
You wanted an honest answer, and you knew.
I knew what the answer was, though. I've been
Yes.
very, very honest. I knew.
Well, I didn't believe you. I thought that you were
Oh,
exaggerating. I thought that you were, being self-deprecatory to kind of be funny,
No.
and there is part of that there
No.
still,
Yeah.
but I thought it was nonsense.
It. I told you. I even told you that Catherine told me. She sent me an email
She was
and talked.
angry. That doesn't count.
But she was being honest. When you have a woman that you fucked multiple times over the course of a year tell you about your teeny tiny little dick, her words.
Oh my God. Okay.
Um,
Now, see, there's a lot of, I could argue with that
mm,
because she had only been with girls, which means she's only been with plastic, which means you pick your size. It tends to be on the larger size. So there's a lot of reasons that she would have said that, but also she would exaggerate from her righteous anger
uh,
that you richly deserved. So
uh,
it's difficult. There
see,
was only one way to know.
well, now you know.
I do.
Um,
I do.
so hold on. Let's move on before we really get in depth.
Yes.
Let me talk about the picture you sent me.
Okay.
And Fat Andy in the chat says, "Is she a New Yorker?"
Of course.
Yes. All right, because I always
Course.
say she sounds like Fran Drescher.
Red
And
Hook forever.
oh man, all right, I see you, girl. Well, okay. Anna sent me a photo of her divine bosoms. They were absolutely fucking amazing. And now that she has seen how small my penis is, I am afraid that I will never get her in bed now because she has seen how small I am.
That
And
is terrible.
but I've always wanted you. You know this. And now I know your cans are fucking to die for. I
They're,
wish they
they're
had
the
been.
only good part, so the rest of it is a
Um,
fucking mess.
I wish that they had been all like saggy and flappy and stuff.
Right?
And
Right?
I was like, they were still nice and firm and stand at attention. I'm like, yeah, I need you to have like the old broad tits that I'm used to,
Yeah.
where they're just like they kind of look like udders. And
Right?
I was like, I saw the photo. I was like, oh my god, they're fucking amazing. Nice size. Oh, then I mean, you're not flat. Don't have the pancake titties. Nice, round, firm melons.
Oh my
Beautiful
goodness.
areolas.
Oh my goodness, that's
Oh,
too specific.
I'm describing everything.
Oh my
Just not.
goodness.
Um, that's at least. I'd say that those were at least a C cup, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man, nice, very beautiful.
Oh heavens.
Um, they were absolutely gorgeous, and I knew that if you hadn't had yourself spayed, that you would shoot out beautifully mixed children that would suckle at your breast and ruin them.
Right. And they'd all be psychopaths and be wreaking havoc across Tennessee. It'd be great.
Possibly,
It'd be great.
possibly, but they. I was not. I always figured you'd be a cutie patootie, but oh my goodness.
Oh good heavens, sir.
They were fantastic. I was like, I wasn't expecting them to be that big. And because I mean, we're about the same age. And I know as women get older, they start to get all flabby and stuff. And I was like, okay. So I
I
figure I'm
think that
probably,
you have to get a little older than us, right?
I've seen
I
chicks that's
hope.
like 34 and stuff. And they've
Did
got,
they have a bunch of babies though?
eh,
I knew a girl who had one baby and it destroyed everything. It looked
mm,
like it was a transformation out of Frankenstein. It was horrifying.
let's see.
They
Let,
deflated and hung there. It's
well,
very strange.
Well, we have a comment from Last Crusader in the chat, and he says, "Disclaimer: I have an above-average slugger. I can't relate to any of this."
Oh, you
Uh,
son of a bitch.
uh,
You son of a bitch.
uh,
How dare you bring that up right now, sir?
yeah. Well, this is we have so many fans that listen to Sexy Party. And again, I am thankful not only to the ones that are right here with us in the chat listening live, to all of them that will be streaming my humiliation at work and various. I get messages all the time. It's like I'm working out and I'm listening to you, and the show is so funny. They like to jog, and some of them are at their workstations. I find that very flattering. So if you are one of those people that like to, it doesn't matter when you listen. I'm just happy that you're listening, and I do feel privileged for it. But on to the humiliation. It is time for you to be honest and tell us.
Okay.
Okay.
I was shocked.
Oh,
don't be like that. It was shocking because of your size, because you're just, it's not what you would expect. However, you've got nice proportions.
Oh, Jesus.
You've got a nice, oh, Jesus me. You have a nice uniform color. Like, it's cute. It's cute. All right. If you haven't seen enough pornography, because there are a lot of zebra cocks out there where they've got these weird color morphs going on, where it's pink in some spots, it's black, it's brown. It's gross. I don't like it. Looks like a fucking candy cane, but like a yucky one. You don't have that. You have nice uniform color. You have good girth. You need to lose more weight. If you can get that fupa down, it's going to give you more length. Right now, the length is tucked up inside fried chicken and all of your biscuits and gravy.
Oh, man.
You got to get rid of it.
You got fried chicken penis? Oh, no.
No.
Oh.
You got to get rid of it, and it's going to bring it to like just normal. And it's not going to look like a big, huge guy with a smaller piece of equipment.
So, I mean, but I have a vagina.
You do not have a vagina. You do not have a vagina. But, stuff is naturally gonna recede like that when you've got a big fupa. Oh, and you gotta get rid of it.
I'm trying.
You gotta try harder.
Oh, God. Forever an incel. I wonder how many, because when
you're not an incel, that's a ridiculous thing to say. You get laid, you get blown, you're a busy guy. So don't give me that. You've been in all kind of relationships. An incel would be really mad if they heard you appropriating their word.
Let me see.
Because I go in their channels. I know them.
Okay, hold on. So let's go to the chat. Ray Thulu. Antonio, can you see your winky without a full-length mirror? If I am aroused, I can see the tip of it. If I am not aroused, if I am not aroused, then it is invisible, like Sue Storm of the Fantastic Four.
It goes to sleep. It goes, into his safe place. It's very sensible.
Yes, this is true. Okay, and Eric S., remove the roof you made for it and let it grow in the sun, is what she's saying.
Listen to that man. What a well done, that man. Well done. There you go.
I've ruined our friendship now.
You have not. You have not. I'm a scientist. I needed to do this. This was good.
This is so horrible, because I was like, what you sent me was so amazing.
It was very careful. It was very careful.
They were gorgeous. They were divine and heavenly. That is... Okay, hold up. Captain Black Cheese Mo. Mine is uncircumcised. Okay.
Sorry, I threw up in my mouth a little bit.
No. Yes.
I'm okay. I'm going to rinse it out.
Okay, let's see. Last Crusader. She's right about losing weight. You can easily gain 1 to 3 inches pretty easy.
Yep. And you can see that that's what's going on. It's not necessarily, it's not naturally tiny. It's just tucked away in there.
Oh, boy.
Biscuits. They got to go. Carbs.
Maybe I could do like a liposuction thing or something.
Right in the fupa. Just have them suck it all out. It would be perfect.
There, I'm sure there's probably a doctor that can do that, and I can
I
just
bet.
go
I bet
and
if you
go.
looked up fupa reduction, somebody would be
"Mm."
offering that service.
I was like, yeah, can
Holy
you,
fuck.
oh my God, this is, why did I agree to do this? I don't know
Oh my god.
why.
Oh my god.
Oh my God, this
Is there a question?
is, let me see, hold up. Fat Andy, were they Photoshop Chi-Chis?
No. No.
No, they were, it is, as the Seinfeld episode said, they were real and they were spectacular.
Well, angles, careful.
I don't know what angle you called that, but they were divine.
I feel like
And
I'm having a schwitz here. I'm all nervous. You gotta calm down.
uh,
Okay.
the men in the chat are being very supportive.
Of course they
I
are.
lost Last Crusader says I lost 1 inch to my belly before. It's super normal, but
See?
yeah. I've it's been like this my whole life. I told you when I was 14. I told you when I was
No.
14, and the redneck goes, "Look at the little dick on that nigger," and I was
Right,
like,
but
"Yeah,
your penis wasn't done growing at 14.
it's done growing now."
Yes, it is now. Unless you lose some weight, in which case it would grow a little bit more.
Can't you just fake an orgasm with me, please?
I'm not good at that.
I will. Uh, then I foresee a lot of tongue action with you, then, because I always. Oh
You're going to
God.
get into shape.
Oh
You're
God.
going to look amazing. You're going to have, you're never going to have a six pack. You don't need it. But you're going to have stamina and endurance, you're going to do things. It's going to be great.
Well, this reminds me of an encounter I had with a young lady,
Oh God.
a redhead, and her name was Caitlin, and Caitlin was slightly older than me, and she was from Boston.
How old were you at the time?
Oh, what was it? 36, 37?
And she
And
was,
she was like 43.
oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah. 2 kids, had been married for like 13, 14 years. And, had, like I said, her son and her daughter. And she moved to Tennessee and, she had a nice job. Her husband apparently played World of Warcraft too much.
Fuck, that's me.
And that was one of the things that she started telling me about her husband, is why she kind of broke it off with him, because she felt like he was spending too much time on the game and not spending
Wow.
enough time with her. And so, they
Yeah, Warcraft has taken a lot of victims, a lot of marriages.
and then so she like I said, she broke it off with him. And then she she started like a 5-year relationship with a woman. They
Right.
actually, yeah, 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 that was rather jarring, I suspect. She moved on to a woman. They got engaged. They were going to get married. And when I met her online, I put an ad up on Craigslist and she responded to it. And so
What was your ad for? Like, what did it say?
it was just, telling her I was looking for women to date. I was looking for a relationship.
Not like DTF, like there was.
Oh no, I don't ever put that in there, because
Okay.
even women, my experience when I would put ads on Craigslist was that even if I did want to fuck, that
Right.
I would just be like, hey, I'm just looking to date and have a good time. You don't ever just put it out there that you're willing, because if the woman, if she's of a like mindset, she'll just do the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Exactly.
and so I met her. When she responded, she was like, she said, I've got 2 kids and I'm a bigger girl, and but I liked your ad. Now, and I was like, do you have any pictures? And she sent me the photos, and yeah, she was truthful. I was like, okay, but she was cute and pretty red hair, and I was like, okay.
Did she have big boobs?
They were nice, but they were also the flappy kind. She definitely needed her bra, because I noticed when she took the bra off, they had kind of lost the shape. And
That's what having kids does.
yeah, but nice color on the nipples though. I noticed she had nice pink nipples. She's really shy about her body. Well, we went out on a couple of dates first. We were actually trying to date. It wasn't a
Right.
sex thing. And we went out, took her out to restaurants. We went to see what was that movie, Horrible Bosses, with Jamie Foxx and can't remember the guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia and all that shit. But it's Horrible Bosses, the first one. Kevin Spacey was one of the bosses, and it was prophetic. But
Yeah.
but we wanted to go, so we went to dinner and we went to go see Horrible Bosses, and came back to my place and started watching The Color Purple, and we were making out.
Making out to The Color Purple?
Yeah, well, I
How
mean,
dark that movie is?
yeah, I know, but we weren't,
No
we were
pun
watching the movies
intended.
and we wasn't, so.
Right.
And then so I tried to, like I said, this was like the third date at that point.
You don't fuck to The Color Purple. I think that's horrible.
Well, we
Bad
didn't.
move.
No, she was
Okay.
like, things started getting kind of heated, and she was like, no, I don't want to be a hoe. I don't want to be a hoe. And
for
so,
Christ's sake.
no, she was like, yeah, because she was
Poor
like, I don't
women.
want to. Yeah, she was like, I don't want to be a hoe. She
Oh,
said, I do like you. I don't want to be a hoe.
oh, for goodness sake.
And I was like, okay. And then so she left, and I was like, oh man, maybe she's not ever coming back.
Oh.
So I went to work. I went to work the next night, and I was the assistant manager, so I had to do the truck order. My job was to order the cigarettes, so I had to keep inventory on the cigarettes, and I'm sitting here, counting up all the cigarettes, seeing what I need to reorder, and then, I'm sitting here counting, and then all of a sudden I get a text, and it's like 10:30 at night, and she goes, "When are you getting off?"
Oh.
And I was like, "Uh-oh." All right, I know what that means.
Right?
Okay, so I was like, I'm doing my cigarette order. It'll probably be about another hour and a half. And she was like, oh, damn, I was wanting you to come over or, come to my house and all this. And I said, definitely I would. And she was like, what if I come to your place and wait for you?
Oh.
And I was like,
Do
okay,
that.
that'll be good. And so I was like, I don't know though. My place is a mess because I mean, it wasn't. No, I mean, I had like 2 dishes in the sink, but I hadn't really done. No, seriously, I'm not even joking. I had just washed everything, but I had like 2 dishes in the sink, and but I hadn't really, I had laundry and stuff piled up and shit like that. And I was like, place is a mess. She's like, I've seen worse, trust me. And so she showed up at the store, and I gave her my house key. And then so she went and she went and got comfortable and got in my bed. And then she starts texting me all through the cigarette order. So she was like, your pillows suck. She's like, I wish I had known your pillows suck. I would have brought my pillows. And I was like, I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Fuck.
And it was, so I'm sitting there, and she was like, do you make sure you got condoms? And I was like, yeah, I got some. Don't worry about it. And she was like, okay, cool. I didn't have any condoms, but there was a Walgreens on the way.
Right.
So I was just like, I rolled up in there. I fucked that cigarette order up. I got to be honest. When we got the truck, my boss was like, "Antonio, what the fuck happened with the cigarette order? I
That's
forgot to
hilarious.
order shit." I was like, "There's pussy waiting on me," so I just and I called it in real quick, and I dipped because I was like this. But when I told my boss, her name was Vicky. I told her, I said, "Vicky, I'm sorry. I was trying to get laid, and the chick was at the house, and she was waiting on me. So I realized I fucked the order up. I'm sorry." And then so she started laughing when I told her what happened. And she was like, "Oh, you had some pussy waiting on you. So you just forgot." And I was like, "I did. I'm sorry."
Good boss.
And, yo, I loved her. She
That's
was
awesome.
she was probably one of the best bosses I ever had. And it was crazy though. So I went to the Walgreens, grabbed a pack of the lifestyles, and shot right to the crib. And then, I knocked on the door because she had the door locked, so I couldn't get, I didn't have my key. So, I knocked on the door. She had to let me in. And then, because I was like, please don't be asleep because I ain't got no other key. And then, so I knocked on the door and she comes in. She's kind of she put on like, it was like a housewife type shit. She had on like sweats and stuff. She had like some sweatpants on.
Really?
And
I'm disappointed. She had all that time to get ready.
Well, I mean, that's when she came to the door, and then she's like peeking around and stuff. Because I was like, she was kind of cute when she rolled up and got my car keys. I gave my keys and I gave my house key and got me a little kiss and everything. Went back in, fixed. I said, let me finish the shit up. And so I was like, cool. I mean, we actually sold condoms at my job, but they were way overpriced. It was like a little 3-pack. It was like a 3-pack.
Good for you.
Yeah, at the gas station, 3-pack for like $7.
I won't do it. I won't
So,
overpay.
yeah, so I paid my little $10.99, but I got like 10 condoms.
Right.
So I was like, cool. I was like 3-pack for $7.99. I'm not paying that. And not to mention I planned on fucking a lot that night. So I knew I wasn't going. I was like, oh man, I'm off tomorrow, so I can get it in. And so I got my condoms. I rolled to the house, knocked. She let me in, and I got cleaned up right quick. I said, hold on, let me get cleaned up, and got me a shower real quick because I want to be clean. I came back in, and she's laying in the bed watching TV and stuff, and I go, hey, what's up? And she go, what's up? And move the covers back, let me get in. We start kind of making out a little bit. Things started happening. Pulled them covers back a little bit. And she hadn't shaved. She had a rainforest going on down there.
Like really? That bad?
Yeah.
Rainforest?
Well, I mean, yeah. She yeah. It was she definitely had
okay.
She definitely had some stuff going on down there, but it wasn't where I couldn't manage.
I can see why you would be concerned if you're super oral. Like you don't want it all messy.
Oh yeah. And so she so I started kind of going, she said, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm just trying to take care of some stuff. She's like, no. She's like, no, I don't want you to do that.
Right.
And I was like, I knew I was in trouble because I was like, if I do that, the move is the move.
Oh fuck.
I was like, that's my main move right there.
Right.
Like I said, I'm not packing, so if I don't get to snacking, I'm in trouble.
Oh my god.
So I'm mortified, and she goes, no. She's like, no, it's our first time. It's too personal. I don't want to do that.
Oh my god.
And I was like, no.
Pain in the ass.
Okay. And I was like, no, it's okay. And then so I pulled her up to the edge of the bed, and I pulled the sweatpants off and everything, and I kissed it, and she was like, no, don't do it. And then
you start.
And then wait a minute, and then so then I said, no, it's okay. And then I just went in and just started going crazy on, and she was like, no, oh.
Up.
And then yeah, and she just shut the hell up right then, and she
Yeah,
was like, okay, never mind. And next thing I know, she's like gripping my bald head and the whole thing, and she was enjoying it.
of course.
And she was like, okay. Um, and then it became time,
Right.
and now I'm already in the bed naked, and things are happening, and she immediately now that's I don't know. I kind of fucked it. I don't know how to. I don't never know that move where you're supposed to stop everything you're doing and throw the condom on. So I just went ahead for full insertion right there. She was like, "No," that was like
Oh.
bad dog. And I had to go and grab the condoms right there. So I
Oh
went and
my
grabbed the
God.
condoms. So I went and grabbed the condoms, and it's you know, I went threw the condom on. I just threw the shit. The paper was on the ground. And everything. I was like, fuck it, boom, boom, and threw it in there. And then yeah, so like I said, I was engorged. Condom didn't make it any bigger. I was like, and she
Oh my
looked and she was
God.
like, oh, okay.
Ah!
And
Oh fuck. I'm so
so,
sorry.
oh yeah, so I mean, the sex was. I'm gonna be honest. I thought she had some really good pussy. I was really happy with it, but I knew I wasn't very big, and you know, um, although she did tell me that I did bring her to orgasm, so I was very happy about that.
Well, of
Um,
course. I mean,
well,
you're
Well, I
putting
just
in
want to
work.
make sure. Well, I just want to make sure because if I didn't, then I'd be kind of humiliated and stuff. She's like, "No, you were fine," and we just laid in bed and cuddled and talked to each other, and then I got aroused again, and she was like, "You want to go again?" I was like, "Yeah,"
Mm.
and then so then I threw on another one and did it again, and she seemed okay with it. I don't know. It was um
So she was disappointed.
I don't think it went as well. But then, uh went back to bed, went back to the cuddling. Um, we were holding each other, had great conversation. We seemed to really like each other
Yeah.
and stuff. And I went to sleep. I actually passed out. I passed, and she was like, you got sleep apnea. And that's when she was starting,
Oh fuck.
yeah, because
She's
she could hear.
diagnosing you for you snoring.
Yeah, well, she
Oh,
did like medical billing and shit and stuff.
right. Right.
And she was like, "Yeah," she's like, "My ex husband had it," and she's like, "You need to go and get yourself checked." And she
Right.
said,
And
"Yeah,
she
you
was
got."
right.
Yeah, she was like, You're like stopping breathing while you're sleeping and stuff."
Yeah.
And because I woke back up, and then we fucked again,
Really?
and yeah, that was 3 times. So
And how
um,
how long of a period was this? 4 or 5 hours?
about 8.
Okay.
She stayed the whole night. I mean, she didn't leave till that morning.
Right.
She left at like 8 that morning, and I know I got home at like right before midnight, like maybe 11:45, and she left at about 8 that morning. She had brought her overnight bag. She had all this expensive body wash and shit from Bed Bath and Beyond. She looked really. Her next day outfit was really cute, and she had her overnight bag and all that kind of stuff, and I mean, she woke me up that morning right before she was about to sleep. She's like, "Hey, sorry to wake you up, but I'm about to leave. I just wanted to
Oh.
say goodbye. I had an amazing night." Gave me a
Oh,
nice
that's
kiss.
lovely.
And I was like, I was in love right then. I was like, I'm finna marry this bitch. And
Oh.
I was like, I got pussy whipped right then. I was in love.
Oh, fuck.
And man, so she left, and I kept smelling the sheets. She was all over me. I could just smell her all over my body, and it was crazy because she was texting me and telling me, "Oh my God, I still smell like you. Oh my God, I smell you." And I was like, "Me too." And it was driving. We were saying the same shit, so I was like, "Oh man, maybe I just found my soulmate." And it's crazy.
Maybe.
And I was like, "Oh my God." And then, like I said, I was off the rest of the day, and I was like, man, I can't wait to see you again. And she texted me back, and she was like, yeah, I'm kind of tired. I'm gonna drink some wine and go to bed. And I was like, oh, so she's not busy, but she doesn't want to come over. Okay, gotcha. And so I was like, oh man, I started feeling like I was a chick or something. It was kind of horrible. And it was, I was like, oh man, okay. So I was like,
Was this the very next day where she demurred?
yeah, it was like the next day.
Okay.
And then like 2 days after, I'm like, I was like, when am I gonna be able to see you again? I'm texting her more than she's texting me, and that's always a bad sign.
Oh.
That's always a bad sign, like with a woman or a guy. If the woman's texting and the guy's not texting back, I'd say that's a sign of disinterest, and vice versa. And so,
Usually.
well, I'm
Yes.
well, I mean, it just in my personal experience, it's 10 times out of 10,
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I either don't like them or they've decided they don't like me.
Rather than that they're in some sort of chaos.
Yeah.
Sort of
Well,
chronic chaos.
yeah, it's always like, oh my God, how can I get rid of this motherfucker?
Oh.
And
for Pete's sake.
it was, I don't know. It was a bad situation. So she I go, man, I can't wait to see you again. When do I get to see you again? And she goes, don't take this the wrong way. But I don't think we should see each other again.
What the fuck?
And I was devastated because I was at work. And it was hard for me to keep a smile on my face for my customers while I'm like, I'm getting blown off by this bitch. And I was like completely humiliated, and I was like, oh God.
Did she give you a reason?
Well, here's the thing though. She forgot some of her fancy expensive ass shampoos and shit at my house.
Right.
And she was like, yeah, I don't think we should see each other anymore. You seem like a really sweet guy, but you also have some tendencies because I was talking about the gaming and stuff like that, and we were playing Rage of Bahamut at that time, and I was telling her about that. And
well, she's already been burned by gaming addicts.
Yeah, and she was like, you say a few things that remind me of my husband. Yeah. And I was like, uh-oh, this is bad.
Well, you have to be with another gamer. You know that.
Yeah, well, that's why I've proposed marriage to you like 50 times. You won't.
And I was late for tonight's stream from a raid.
That's what I'm saying. And see, that's the thing. That's the thing, though. I'm not judging you for playing games, dear.
Right, I know. But I mean, it is habitual.
It's like, I love you, and I would never ask you not to play games. I figured we would play games together.
You'd have to get into what I was into. You would have
or we'd have to find a mutual game to play together. Yeah, so it's like we have to. Yeah, well, in my Game of Thrones clan, the leader and his wife, the leader of my clan and his wife, they run shit. So
that's how it's got to be.
And it was, but yeah, so all of a sudden she realized, she was like, I was like, man, I'm really sorry to hear that. I liked you. She's like, I like you too. I hope we can still be friends. Bitch tell you they just want to be friends. They don't ever contact your ass.
No, they don't want to be friends. Liars.
And although, well, hold on, I'm skipping ahead. Hold on, let me say this. So, a couple days later, she goes, hey, I just realized this is probably gonna kind of, you probably like fuck Caitlyn shit, but I just realized I left, some of my shampoos and stuff over at your house, and they were kind of expensive. If you haven't thrown them out, could you get them ready for me, and I will just come, and you can just hang them on the door if you don't want to see me or whatever. And I was like, no, I'd love to see you. Please come. And I'm more than happy to give them back. And she said, okay, are you working tonight? I said, yeah, but you don't have to go in till 10. And she was like, okay. And so she showed up and she looked really cute. She had her, she wasn't working that day, so she had her little casual outfit on, had her little expensive ass sunglasses. She had like $80 sunglasses on and shit. And I was like, what the fuck? She made a lot of money. I mean, she made like $55,000 a year.
Jesus.
Yeah. So, and was in the process of buying a house and shit. And I was like, at that time, I made $24,000 a year. So she, so I made $24,000 a year, and she made over 55,000.
Well, she was older too, so
just by a few years. I mean, shit.
Yeah.
Like 43. So I was like, yeah, she's not, But she showed up and she was like, thank you. She gave me a hug and a nice kiss. She was like, thank you for not being an asshole and throwing my shit out.
Oh.
And I was like, no. I was like,
she's the asshole.
And she was just like,
no, she's not.
But
Damn
and I was like, sit down and talk to me, because I liked her. I was trying to talk. I was like, I really like you. I don't want to stop seeing you. And she was just like, I don't know.
No gamers.
I've
Fuck off.
Thought about, and she was like, I've really thought about this. She's like, you were really sweet. And it wasn't the sex. And that stuck out in my mind when she said it wasn't the sex.
Maybe it wasn't.
Because, well, I don't know. I talked to my brother and he goes, whenever they tell you it's not the sex, it was the sex.
Not that that's not often true, but we were deep in Rage of Bahamut.
Oh,
and I bet that you were talking about it.
Well,
you can't be up the asshole or something like that without talking about it.
I did talk about certain things because we were having like holy wars and stuff like that. And I did tell her, I was like, I am the clan leader. When you have holy wars, I'm available.
That would be a red flag for her to hear that.
I mean, I had to be honest though. I mean, I had like 40 people that were depending. I was like, there were 40 people. And I mean, also, remember that story I told? I was fucking a girl doggy style while you guys were waiting on me to throw the spell.
Screaming for Shingakai.
Yeah. And I was like, I was like, I could bear, because she had agreed to wait till after the match before she started blowing me. And she started sucking my dick before the match
that
was
is a
over.
Good girl.
Oh, well, I'm not complaining that she was sucking my dick. But I did tell her that the match was going on.
Right.
And I was like, okay, when the match is over, we got like a 3-hour window until the next match.
That's
and
perfect.
And I was like, okay, I can fuck you for like at least good 2 hours and cuddle, maybe give me a little nap in, and we can fool around then. And then, if you want to stay, you can stay. I was like, but yeah, the matches lasted what, an hour? And I was like, yo, but then next thing I know, she's grabbing my dick, and then her mouth's on my dick, and she's blowing me, and oh my God, next thing I know, she's pulling those, and she had big like double D cans and stuff, and I was like, oh my God, this is the woman that punched me while I was asleep, and that
one, it was her.
Yeah, it was the woman that punched me while I was sleeping.
She was done with your shit.
Yeah, you can hear about that on the episode called Throat Punch.
Oh God.
Yeah, that was the that was
her.
That was
not a good girl.
Yeah, well, no. Hey, I love fucking her. She was a bitch. But she was a bitch. Yeah, she was a bitch, but I love fucking her.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I'm hitting it. And mother, and people are like, fuck Antonio, throw the spell, Antonio. And I was like, we were about to get killed.
It was win or lose by that spell.
Yeah. And so I'm fucking, and I was like, and then all of a sudden I keep hearing the phone go ding. I said, oh, I grabbed the phone. Everybody said, motherfucker, throw the spell. And I go, and I was like, man, I hit the fucking Shinjuku. And then all of a sudden, all you heard was, Ah! I was like, because I just was like,
Oh my
that's what it
God.
was. Because I couldn't even get the phone back on the table. I had it on the nightstand, and I just dropped the phone. I hit it. I was like, y'all on your own now. I hope y'all can win this motherfucker. And I hit the spell and just dropped the damn phone right there. So,
Oh, see, now that's
um,
loyalty to your team. That's
and
integrity.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it was so funny. And when I came back in the room, I told everybody I was fucking, and they were like, they was like, Antonio, that was dedication right
Fuck
there.
yeah.
I was like,
I salute you.
oh, and it was. I'll never forget that though, because I was like, people think I made that story up. I was like, that's a true story. I was fucking, and then I hit the spell, and I couldn't even get the phone back on the table. I was like balls deep in her at that point. And I mean, she was throwing that thing, man. I'm flipping her over. We just going at each. Oh man, violent. She was like
Ding.
violent kisser.
Ding.
Yeah, I mean, she's like a violent. Like she starts kissing me, and she was like, she's like one of those fucking monsters in a movie. It's like she's trying to suck the soul out of me or something. Like she's grabbing my face and just shoving her.
Holy
Oh,
shit.
she's like attacking me, and then she's like getting on top of me and riding me, and it's like, so you got a fat girl getting on top of a fat guy riding him. The bed, I hear the wood in the bed breaking.
Oh, fuck me. Oh no.
And matter of fact, the bed I'm on now, I need to get a new bed because the last girl I had, I was fucking her, and she has some weight. I'm already a big dude, so you start hearing the wood planks go crack, crack. And
Oh
I
my
was
God.
like, I heard it. And she looked at me when I stuck it in, and we heard the bed go crack.
Oh my
And she
God.
looked at I was like, fuck it. If it breaks, it breaks. And I just kept going. Because, shit,
Holy
I spent
shit.
another $1,000 on the bed. Fuck it. But I actually went to a furniture depot with my friend Angie. Because I kept telling her, I said, I keep fucking these big bitches and they breaking the beds all the time. We break the beds all the damn time. My
Really?
ex Dawn, she had a steel rod under her support, and I was pounding the shit out of her. Bam! It's like violent. It's like two football players trying to tackle each other, some shit. It's
No.
sumo wrestling or something,
No.
So I'm like, bam,
Oh
bam,
my
bam,
God.
bam, bam, and I'm hitting it, and then
Oh
all of a
my
sudden I
God.
hear something go crack, crack. I'm hearing it crack, and then all of a sudden I hear something go snap, and I look, and I was like, oh my God, what was that? She said, just keep fucking me, I'm almost about. She's like, I'm about to come, and I'm like, oh shit. And so I said, all right, fuck it, boom, boom, and I'm hearing more damage as we're fucking, boom, boom,
Fuck.
boom, boom. So
Oh my
when we got
God.
done, oh man, she was wore out. When I got done with her, I mean, it was just nothing but like sweat stains, and I mean, we both lost a lot of fluid. It was crazy. We just tore each other. I miss. She was probably one of my favorite. I was with Dawn for 4 years. She was like my
Oh,
favorite, and
yeah.
I mean, but she had the two kids, and it was
She was
crazy.
my favorite too. Yeah. I liked her.
Yeah, and now I mean, it's crazy because it's weird that we're friends now, but yeah, she's with this dude, and she's been with him for like 8 years now. So it's like fuck.
Ugh.
Um, but
You
yeah,
want to
we
hire
broke
an
the bed.
assassin?
Oh, it was so fun. No, but I don't. She probably would call me if he was out of the picture,
See?
but because we still talk sometimes. Like when she saw the comic book started selling, she was like, "Congratulations! You was talking about
Hmm.
that book when we were together." She's
Yeah.
like, "I see that you're finally doing it,"
Fuck yeah.
and I was, she was so happy. But I was like, "There's only a few women for me," and I always knew. That's why I always say, like you always see, you always laugh at that, but I always felt like, that was like everybody. It was so funny when we be in the chat in the old clan and we get into a fight. Everybody was like, "Oh shit," because it was like everybody would say we was like an old married couple, being you, and it was just like it was so weird.
You have
So
never even liked a dog, you
uh,
know? Like, I'm not a dog person, but could you imagine trying to live with my children? Could you fucking imagine
we'd have to figure out a way to make it work.
with the peace that you're accustomed to and the silence that you're accustomed to, having a goddamned raccoon?
Could we
climb
not
on your
have a
head
den? Could you
at
not set
4 in
it
the
up
morning.
where I have a den?
It's not very successful. I think if you've seen them in the wild and how they do, you really, really struggle to keep anything from them.
I'm
It's a
just saying, I'd like
constant
a
fight.
den with a room where I could go and work and be at
Yeah,
peace.
you need doors that lock, but then you're locking yourself away from the kids. They're going to get resentful. They're going to be shitty the next time they see you. They're going to feel jealous, and get
Mm.
bitey.
I don't
It's
know. I had to figure that shit out. I
yeah,
was like, I
it's
was
very dramatic with
because I
all these
always figured
kids.
out it's like you always talk about coming to see me or some shit, and I'm like, oh, it just drives me nuts because I
I
was
don't
like,
even know how I would begin to get away from my kids. My girlfriend, my best girlfriend, wants me to come to Belgium to see her this Christmas, and I don't know how I'm going to do that. Judah would cry his fucking head off all night long. People would abuse each other. Uh, I don't know who's going to regulate their diet and make sure they get everything they need.
mm,
It would be a nightmare to be gone from here for even 24 hours. And as
uh,
visitors are accosted and mistreated and stolen from and abused, and it's difficult.
oh no,
It's
that
not like a house full of cats. It's really stressful and difficult.
mm, mm,
You
mm.
know, and
That's
there's
not
so
good.
many.
I'm so
7.
disgusted that you would consider going out of the country and not coming down to Tennessee
If
to see
I
me.
am going to Belgium, I'm damn well coming to see you.
Oh
So
yes,
don't worry. I've
yes.
never,
And
but I
then
got to figure out what to do.
she will fake an orgasm with me,
I
and
will not.
because she will be like,
Not
she's
gonna
like,
help you. You have to.
she's just like, yeah, yeah, it just wasn't,
Ah,
yeah. uh,
no.
Maybe we should just be friends. I
Oh my
just don't know.
goodness.
Oh, it was just I'd get that shit though, but
I would
I
never
just,
say that shit. I would just
uh,
disappear.
oh, that would be even worse.
I know.
You know that would just destroy me. That
No,
would destroy me if you just disappeared from my
I'll.
life. That
I
would
will
be
not.
horrible.
I will not do that
Oh, it
unless I'm
just
confronted with something
oh my god.
unbelievable.
I was just like, it's like when you meet a nice young lady and you go down and there's a smell and you go, oh wow,
I've been
okay,
there. Oh God,
oh no, there's a smell. That's not good.
that's rough.
Um, it is rough. I agree. Um, but I'm just telling you, I'm a uh, I'm a breaker of beds. I do break beds. I can get, especially when I get in a rhythm, it can be rather intense with the thrusting,
Jeez,
and you can hear the wood just crack, crack, crack.
you need to
So
get rid of the wood. You need to switch to like iron.
mm,
I have a mattress. It's the best mattress I've ever had in my life. Um, from the brand is called Tuft and Needle, and they're out of Arizona, I think. And they're fucking amazing. I had my bed for a couple of years, and one night Judah was asleep, and I thought I could sneak away and go get a soda real quick from the store. I would only be gone 15 minutes. I came back, and he had dug a hole like the size of a softball in the middle of my really expensive bed. And
mm.
I was trying to repair it and putting the stuffing back in the hole and, trying to make it flat again. It wasn't working. I could not afford at the time to buy another bed right away. And I wrote to Tuft and Needle and asked them if they sold a repair kit. They're like, why? What happened? And I told them about Judah. And they said, you know what? We're going to replace it for free. And they mailed me a brand new bed. And they mailed Judah some toys.
I
It was
I had that
amazing.
happen. I financed the bed through a rent to own place,
Ugh.
and I got to fucking this girl on my bed. And I mean, I hadn't even had the bed for about a year. We had completely fucked that box spring up. Me and her had fucked on the bed about 7, 8 times.
See, there's no box spring to these beds.
Oh no, this is just like this bed has a box spring,
Oh,
and
yeah. You got to get rid of that.
oh my god, because that's the thing. Like when I was fucking Dawn on her, she had a king size bed, and she had, like I said, we broke a metal bar because when she was like, "Oh my
Jesus.
god, what happened?" And then so when we recovered, because we were just like, oh
Too
my god,
destroyed
oh,
to
and
think about it.
she had, and I mean, she was multi orgasmic. She must have had about 4 orgasms. It was crazy, but she was only like she loved the size of my dick. She loved it because she was like 4'10". She was tiny.
She's a midget.
So she was like but she told me her ex before me, he was like 6'3", 6'4", and she said she couldn't take it all. He was so big. He would
Starts
try
banging
to,
that cervix.
yeah, it was like she said he would put it in and her eyes would start watering from like tears. She couldn't even take it.
Oh.
And she said she loved mine because she could fit it all in her mouth and she loved sucking dick. So she was like, oh. And she said she could feel it was the perfect size where like I would go in and it would just hit that spot all the time.
Oh, see, that's fucking perfect.
So that's why I was like, I fucked that relationship up. It was perfect.
Oh, she helped.
She was like, well,
Just
yeah, okay,
you.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. It was, yeah, we
It
were
was definitely
completely,
two-sided. Yeah.
oh yeah, it was, but my God,
Even though I know she was so good.
yeah, I loved her to death, and
I hope she doesn't hear these.
you know what? I never share sexy party on my main because there's too many women I fucked on my that I'm because the woman Caitlin,
Yeah.
me and her became friends. We actually became because she was like, I want to be friends, and I was like,
And she really meant it?
yeah, she actually meant it.
Wow.
But we didn't talk. She didn't talk to me for like 8 months. And then for whatever, I guess because I still had her phone number in my telephone, and so you know how Facebook will like pull your contacts, and it was like I was like, oh, she's got a Facebook, and so I sent her a message, and I was like, hey, how are you? And she was like, hey, what's going on? And she was single, and it was maybe 2 days before my birthday, and I was like, yeah, I'm just getting ready for my birthday and everything. And she was like, oh my God, it's your birthday? And I was like, yeah, on Wednesday. And she was like, well, you got to let me buy you dinner.
Oh.
And I was like, really? And she was like, yeah. Or she said, or breakfast. She said, we can go have breakfast. And she was like, she said, I'll tell you what, why don't we go and have breakfast at Panera Bread? She loved Panera Bread. And at this point, I had switched jobs. I had left MAPCO at that point, and I had started working for Amazon.
Right.
I started working for Amazon, and so I got off at Amazon, and she was like, they start serving breakfast at like 5 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was like, okay, well, just text me when you get off, and then I'll head that way. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I got off and I said, hey, yeah, it'll probably take me about 35 minutes to get there. You know, I'm on the other side of town, traffic, breakfast, morning traffic and shit. So she was like, okay. And so I got off and I was like, okay, I'm about to head that way. And she was like, great. And I drove up there, and that shit was overpriced, but she paid for everything. You know, it's like, you know, got me one of them little egg white omelets with some ham and cheese, and one of their freshly squeezed lemonades, and that shit was $12.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that shit was way too much. It was good though, and she got some kind of weirdo hippie salad. She was always on these diets because, you know, she, like I said, she's a big girl. And she was always like, oh, I'm trying to lose weight. And I was like, bitch, you've been on 50 diets and you still look the same. And she still looks the same. She still looks the same. She's not losing any weight. I don't know what's going on, but she's not losing the weight. But she's cute to me. I'd still fuck her, so I don't care. Right. That's the thing. I don't care about the weight. But she's sitting here like starving herself trying to get to some kind of weight thing. Oh, I lost 5 pounds. I'm like, yeah, bitch. All right, cool.
It's the same 5 you keep losing and finding.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And so,
God damn it.
So we had been, you know, we started texting each other again, and she was like, she said, so when you saw me, what were you thinking? And I said, truthfully, and she said, yeah, I said, I wanted to clear the table of all that food and just pound you right there. And she just started going, she just started cracking up because she gave me, and it was surprising because when the breakfast was over, she hugged me and she kissed me. And I was like, oh boy, I wasn't expecting that, and I thought, I was like, maybe we could get back together. It had been a little while, but I was like starting to hold out hope that maybe we could get back together. And she was like, well, she said, I've been seeing this guy and you don't want to date me right now. My life is a mess. And I was like, oh my God, what do you mean it's a mess? So I started realizing, she started telling me what she had been doing, and I see her differently now.
Uh-oh.
So this is what she had been doing. Her boyfriend was one of these weirdos that he's one of these cut boys that likes his girl to fuck other guys.
Oh my God, that's so strange. There
Yeah.
seems to be a lot of it, or is the media just trying to make it bigger than it is? Please.
And they had a mutual friend, and he had kind of flirted with her a little bit. And she was like, he was like, you liked him, didn't you? That kind of thing.
Oh no.
And
Gross.
it kind of reminded me of Indecent Proposal almost,
Right.
where he talked her into doing this, and it's like, oh, you liked him, didn't you? And she told me, she said at first she thought the guy was kind of an asshole and stuff. She really didn't like him that much. And he had he was actually married.
Oh
And
no.
but it sounded like him and his wife, he was just willing to cheat on his wife. And or actually, if I'm not mistaken, she told me that they were separated at the time, but they'd been trying to work it out or whatever. And her boyfriend, who I saw him, and he, he was a bigger guy like me, and she said that he talked her into having sex with this guy, and and it was one of these, like, if you love me, you'll do this for us,
You
and
manipulative fucker.
I want to know all the details about it. So it was, and she, for whatever reason, at first I was like, why the fuck did you agree to do that shit? It just seemed weird to me.
Because he was pressuring her, the cunt.
But then she fucked him. And he wasn't a fat guy. He was, he was in shape or whatever, and she fucked him. And then she said she fell in love with the other guy.
Yeah.
And she didn't mean to.
No, it's very common.
And it was very strange to me. I was like, oh
yeah,
God.
That's gross. Were they trying to be poly?
I don't get me to lying, because it just sounded, the whole thing sounded weird to me.
Right.
And I was like, really? And I don't know, it was just confusing.
Really?
I was like, it just to me, I was like, I'm not used to that. So she's telling me that this, she started, he's wanting to go get back with his wife, but she's falling in love with him.
It's a disaster.
And then she has to keep fucking the guy and telling her boyfriend what it's like fucking him and stuff. And
what do you think of that? I mean, like, can you imagine being interested in that yourself?
Well, no, I don't. Yeah, that's number one. It makes, like I said, it made me look at her differently, because one of the things that attracted me to her was that she was so prim and proper.
Right.
She went to not only I think she went to New York University for college, but then she also went to Boston College and graduated. She graduated from both. and she lived over in Europe for like 6 months, and she seems to go to Europe at least once or twice a year, it seems like.
So
Because I
she's
know,
like cultured.
yeah. She's making more. Like I said, that was like 10 years ago that this happened, and she was making. I mean, she was making 55,000 then. I know she's making more than that now. She's got her own home, and she's got savings and all this, and she, I follow her, we're on Instagram together and we're on Facebook, and she'll post pictures. She's like, I took my mom to Paris for Mother's Day. And then like, yeah. And they're like, and yeah, there's just sitting there up in Paris, just chilling. And
oh my God.
she drinks wine, and, her family has money.
Oh.
She's always traveling, it's like, I'm like, I'd never heard a bitch use the word chalet before. She was like, oh yeah, we rented a chalet. And I was like, what the fuck is a chalet? I don't know what that is. I'm just a nigga from the projects. I don't know what the fuck that is.
Oh my
chalet.
God.
I was like, I know what a Chevrolet is. I know what a Chevrolet, but a fucking chalet. I was like, oh, we went to, we went out, we went out to, a cabin. We rented a chalet, and and it was like we went out to Colorado and went skiing, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Wow.
Okay, so it really threw me off a little bit, and I didn't understand that.
Yeah. Oh my God.
She just, and that's another reason why she said that, just because I'm a dude from the ghetto, and she was all cultured and shit. And that was another thing that she's told me later on. She was like, we seem kind of different. Not to mention she was very liberal, and I told her, I said, I'm conservative.
Yeah.
And we argued about Barack Obama. I remember that, 'cause she was just like, she loved Obama, and I was just like,
I did too. It happens.
And
He
it was
fooled
just
a lot of people.
I was like, well, see, there you go.
He was so charming.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, you can have C-SPAN on while I'm dining on your snack. That would be, divine.
Use the 2 grossest words possible.
I
There
know.
aren't any grosser words. It's just, you're vulgar, sir.
I know. I agree.
You're a vulgarian.
Oh, like, I speak the language fluently.
Right.
But no, she told me about this. It just sounded, because I kept waiting on her. I was like, drop this guy and let's get back together. I would love to try again. And then she's telling me that she's cucking this dude, and they, the guy's fuck. I was like, the whole thing just sounded weird to me. I was like, oh God, and it kind of made my desire for her wane at that point. I was like, oh, she's a weirdo. Okay.
She's not a weirdo. She was drawn in by a fucking weirdo, and she's trying to please this person. Well, she ended up catching feelings for that dude, which is exactly what happens in those situations,
And then she started hating the boyfriend.
Yeah.
And she dumped him and kept fucking the guy. And it was, but the whole thing is, she told me the other guy was more than happy to fuck her, because he was like, hey, this is just some free sex on the side. And my wife won't know about it. It'll be completely discreet, and I keep fucking this chick, and get it, she'll do whatever I want, and it'll be cool.
Did you ever get to meet the creep?
No, didn't want to.
I would have been curious,
And so she kept, so I said, oh, so you're still fucking around with, she was like, yeah, I know, I'm so stupid. So I'm like, she was like, cause she said, I told myself I wouldn't get in a situation where it's just sexual, and I'm letting this guy use me and humiliate me all the time.
What's going
on?
And
it was crazy. So I'm sitting there going, I don't feel sorry for you because of the way the whole situation popped off. So it was weird for me.
Did you think that she wanted you to like step in and take control of the situation because it was obviously so out of hand?
Well, no, but I was very clear with her. I was like, I was kind of hoping we could try again. And she's like, I know, but I don't want to suck you into all this shit, because she said it's not over. And I don't, she said, I wouldn't try to, she's like, I don't want to start anything with you again if it's not over with him.
Well, that was good of her.
No, I appreciated that, because she was telling me. But yeah, but it took her it took her a while to finally just go, okay, I'm tired of being this guy's cum dumpster and just letting him, blowing him and doing all the. I mean, sound like she was doing all kind of depraved shit,
Ugh.
and he was cool with it. He was like, hey, you're a fat broad and I'm in shape, so I'm going to
Oh.
do whatever.
Oh, how horrible.
And she was just letting the guy do. And I know a lot of fat chicks, and they just let guys like to fuck a skinny guy. They will let the skinny guy just do whatever to him.
Wow.
That's the deal.
That's gruesome.
They were like, oh no, I told you what was it, a couple episodes ago. I told you about my brother. My brother ran
Yes.
that train on that
And I
one
was
fat girl.
horrified.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she let like 5 guys fuck her that night.
Ugh.
My brother was like, I'm going first.
So damaged.
And then whenever she come over again, he was like, I'm not fucking you. I'll let you suck my dick. So he'll go off in
Oh
the
my
back room and let her
God.
suck his dick and stuff like that. Yeah, my brother shit all over that girl, and she just kept coming back for more. And giving him money and doing all kind of shit.
Oh, it's
It's just
vile.
yeah. Oh no, he abused her.
I know.
And she was happy to be abused because my brother was good looking and he had a big dick.
I don't know that was why. I would like to think that it was from like loneliness.
There are plenty of guys that are just as lonely that would have fucked her. They might not have been, like I said, all the dudes that my brother, like they were all like the player guys. They would, I went to the club with my brother and some of his friends, and they were pulling chicks left and right.
This
They wouldn't.
pisses me off because like the incels that I know who are just convinced they cannot get a girl. Yes, you can. There's girls like this out there. Don't tell me that you can't get a girl.
And it's just horrible.
It is horrible. And she needed somebody to stand up and be a man, and say, "Hey, you have a fucking problem. Something's got to be done. We can't just go on like this." Fucking rooms full of men. I don't know. That's not. Something's going on in your mind to do that.
But I don't know. It just, like I said, I felt like I was like, man, you got a lot going on in your life. Why would you? I mean, like I said, she was smart. She made good money. College educated. Had a cute smile and everything. I really liked her. I thought she was a good person. Both her kids were really good looking.
Were they well behaved?
She always kept me away from her kids. I never met them. But she was like, I don't want to bring you around the kids unless it's serious.
Of course.
And we'd only had like 4 dates. I fucked her on the third one. So it's like kind of weird. I fucked her and we, that kind of thing. And then, like I said, once we became Facebook, like I said, we're still Facebook friends and Instagram and stuff. And it was just weird. But now it looks like she's dating a woman again. She just went back to dating women.
Have you heard of borderline personality?
I've heard borderline personality disorder, but I mean, hell, I'm not.
You should Google that sometime because I feel like you're running into those a little bit, and it's very scary. It's kind of the female version of sociopathy, psychopathy, and there's a lot of like narcissism and usury and sneaking and weirdness. I don't know. I don't like it. I pity anyone who is trying to date right now.
Ooh, I don't know. I would like. Oh, fine. Oh my goodness. I just I don't know. I keep meeting these strange women, so
yes,
it's.
And what is it about you that makes you attracted to these strange women? Like, what is it that you're looking for?
Sometimes I think that that's the only type of woman that'll ever be into me. If that makes sense. Maybe it's because I'm a fat dude and I just think I can't do any better.
Well, fat dude is optional, That's optional. Being a huge fucking nerd is not so optional. You're kind of stuck with that. It's kind of part of you. But to speak of yourself in the context of some extra weight is like silly. It's nonsense.
Oh, no. I mean, it's just that's what I keep thinking. I was like, maybe it's just like I talked about my ex Stacy. You know, I was going to marry her because I just didn't want to be alone. So it occurred to me. I mean, and I was openly telling. You know, my brother was like, "Well, at least you found somebody you love," and I was like, "I don't love her." I knew I didn't love her.
You seem kind of good at being alone now. It's like you've reconciled yourself to it. You're very
I've
good at it.
accepted it. It's just
Are you
it took.
enjoying it?
I enjoy the creativity it brings,
Right.
but at the same time, you know, you get lonely sometimes and you want companionship.
Do you
So
think that you really like that you want companionship in smaller doses? Or
probably.
like,
I was like,
right.
I didn't want you to come over, hang with
And
me,
then I
and
want you
leave.
to go away.
Yeah. We'd probably have to get married and you'd have a place with your coons, and then you just have to give me access to the vagina and hold me sometimes
And then you just stay away.
and just listen to me whine about different things.
I don't think you'd do it. I think you'd want to hang out more.
Mm.
You have to get to know all my kids, even Ramsey Corso, who was a bad guy.
Oh, well, man, it's like, okay. Well, hold on. So hold on. So we got. Let me. This is an interesting comment from Ray Thulu. He says being alone is better than being with the wrong person. Being lonely beats the misery of feeling trapped. Hmm.
I don't know,
Let's.
does it?
Well, here's the thing, because that's the thing. When I knew it was over for me and Stacy for about at least the last month and a half of the relationship, we had stopped fucking, which she pointed out to me that I just didn't want to have sex with her anymore. And I love
Why?
sex. She just was getting on my nerves and I didn't want to be with her anymore. And it was pretty clear that she hated me, and I pointed that out to her. No, I told her, I was like, you don't even like me. And I was like, I had gotten sick. You know, I was working at Amazon and I got sick, and I went to the doctor, and he was like, your lungs sound like they're you've got fluid buildup in there.
Oh,
And he
fuck.
was like, I want you to have a chest x-ray. And so
Right?
he made an appointment up there at the hospital, and I had to go to their x-ray unit or whatever.
Right?
And they did the x-ray and found out that I had pneumonia.
Yeah.
So I had pneumonia. They gave me all this medication, and I was out of work for like almost 3 weeks.
Jesus.
And so I was home while she was at work, and then she'd come home. So we were on a different schedule. So she'd go to work early in the morning, and like about 5:30 or so, she'd be coming home, and it'd be time for me to leave and go to work. So we'd only see each other. Hey baby, boom, go and leave.
That's a
Give me a
lot
kiss.
easier. Yeah.
Yeah. So um once I was home all the time, she started to hate me. And it was clear. I could
I don't mean to
tell.
laugh, but that is such a strong word. Like
Oh
I
no.
don't believe that she
No.
fucking hated you.
No. She started to, you could tell
Ah.
that she could not stand me.
Oh
And
my.
then we went to her mom and dad's house. And they lived in a town about 2 hours away, Castelia Springs. So we went out there, and it was vile. It was vile. I mean, because like at this point, we had bought the engagement ring. Um, Wedding down payment had been paid. She had paid like 2,000. Her mom had spent like $400 on the down payment for the wedding
Oh my
cake.
God.
The date was booked. We had started ordering shit. Glad she would go up to her mom's house every weekend, and they would be, because she was making a lot of the little table dressings and stuff for the wedding herself.
Right.
And so she was, instead of hiring, she was like, yeah, I want to do they do all this arts and crafts shit. She was like, I want to do this myself.
That's lovely.
And she was doing a great job. She was showing me. I was like, she was just like, oh, let me show you this and let me show you
Did
that.
you care about the wedding? Like, did you
No, she
express
knew that. She knew I didn't care. I didn't.
like
I was
she's
like,
trying to show you the shit that she did, and you're like off in your own world?
yeah, but I told her, I said I'd go to.
McDonald's,
Yeah, I
the
mean, we could
drive-through.
go to. Also, I said, we can go to, the damn courthouse and just get it over with.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, I'm not doing it, because she had gotten married to another guy like that. And she
Oh,
just went to the courthouse. They were married for like a year. 6 months in, it was over. She couldn't
Jesus.
stand, he was cheating on her and shit. And
Ugh.
so they broke up, and then like took about a year and something for the divorce to be final. And that's when she was in Colorado. And then she came here to Tennessee, and we met. And it was good at first, and then I started noticing she was she had some kind of, she was like manic depressive, and told me they had put her on this medication, and she stopped taking it because it made her feel like she wasn't in her own body and stuff. She was telling me all the shit, but she stopped taking the medication even though it had been prescribed to her.
You
And
have
she
to
was
fucking take the medication.
and she was a fucking insane woman.
It's a notorious problem with bipolar and borderline people as well, where they'll just, it's impossible to get them to stay on the goddamn meds.
And
So frustrating.
well, that's the thing. And then so when that happened, when all that happened, she was like, well, I mean, I'm not gonna let anybody control me. But she'd have these like outrageous.
There we
She'd have
go.
these, and now she'd have like these insane fits of anger.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, we went to her parents' house, and we played nice in front of her parents, and then we got in the car, and I was like, so what's going on with you? Nothing. All this,
Oh
and I could
boy.
tell something was going on. And
The dreaded nothing.
and then so yeah, we're driving home, and it just got worse and worse and worse. I was like, we need to get some help.
Yeah.
And she said, we've talked about this. I feel like you're just trying to get someone to gang up on me.
A doctor?
And but I mean, yeah, well, she felt like the doctor would have been on my side or whatever the fuck.
Okay, well, if the doctor's on your side, it's because she's fucking crazy.
And
Oh.
she, like I said, it was insanity. So my whole thing was, look, I can't keep dealing with this. And I said, the reality is, for the last few weeks, I just feel like, I said, you really showed me something. When I got the pneumonia, you really showed me something. I felt like you couldn't even stand me. And she's like, if I'm being honest, I didn't like you, but I've already started paying for the wedding, and you're not getting out of it. And I was
Fuck.
like, so wait a minute, let me get
What
this
the
straight.
fuck?
No, it was fucked up. I said, so let me get this straight. You're admitting that you don't even love me anymore, but because you put down payments on this fucking wedding,
Oh my god.
that we're still gonna get. She's like, no, you're not gonna weasel out of this fucking wedding.
Oh my god.
And I was like, so
Weasel.
yeah. She said, yeah,
Shit.
refunds, I can't get a refund. It's non-refundable, all this kind of shit. The whole thing was fucked.
Wow.
I mean, we went and did a cake tasting for the wedding, all kind of shit. I mean, we had picked out a bomb ass wedding cake though. I love that wedding cake we picked out. It was nice. I wonder if I could still find a picture of it. I know I had a picture of it, but
I would love to see it.
But it was nice. And it was crazy. So I just I finally, I knew when, she went to work, and when she came home, I said, we got to talk. I was like, I feel like we need to. I said, and I prefaced it. I said, I don't want to break up, but I feel like we need to take a break. And she just went ballistic.
Oh yeah.
She started punching the walls and shit.
Holy fuck.
It was, yeah, she started being insane. And I was like, whoa. I was like, you can't be in here wilding out now. It's just can't. I can't have that.
No.
And so
Gotta be a fucking grown up.
it was too much.
Yeah.
And she's crying, and she's talking about that she had been starving herself to please me.
What?
I said, what?
You've never been about weight.
No, I was never about. I was like, whoa, I've never told her to lose weight or anything. And
That's in her
she's
own
like,
fucking crazy head.
yeah, because she was like, well, I don't feel pretty enough, and I feel like I need to lose weight, and I feel like if I get too big, you're gonna leave me. And I was like, I've never
Oh my
once said anything
God.
about your weight.
It's all in her mind.
Yeah, it was just too much. It was too much.
Do you think that you could just suck dick, because it would be so much easier? It would be so much easier. You could have your weekends back. You could have fun. He'd be into comic books. If you could just pull that off, if you could not be grossed out, you would have the life. I don't know how anybody puts up with us. We're fucking crazy. I feel bad.
I just, oh man.
By the way, do you hear that little chittery noise in the background?
Yes.
That is Pinkerton. What are you doing? That's Pink, because I'm not out there hugging him right now. So he's standing out there making that noise.
So it's not one in the pink and two in the stink, or whatever. Two in the pink, one in the stink.
Asshole.
Oh, okay.
Because he never sleeps. That's why he got that name.
But it's just, yeah, like you said, it's to even think about it. But I said, so you just told me you don't want to be with. I said, that's not what I said. I said we need a break.
You maniac.
I said we need to take a break. I feel like we need to get some help.
Yeah.
I told her that. You just want to get somebody to gang up on me and try to control me.
Ay, maron.
Okay, just that kind of shit. And it was just too much. And so she said, just so you know, if I walk out this door, we are done. I am not putting up with this.
Up with what?
She's like, my mom raised me with self-respect. I'm not going to put up with a man that's just going to throw me in. And I was like, I'm sorry you feel that way. I just feel like we need a breather, and then hopefully we could come back together. I was like, that's what I would want. And she goes, no, I'll just leave.
As you wish.
And so she took the key and put it on the desk. And she said, I will be back probably Saturday with my family to get my stuff. Well, she was like, I'll come back to get my stuff if that's okay. She said, I will call first.
Jesus.
And she let me know. She's like, we're coming bright and early Saturday morning, So I was like, they headed that way at like 7 a.m. Like, since it's 2-hour drive. So they came, and man, it was because I had thrown out. Well, that was another thing that kind of sucked. I had thrown out a lot of my shit. She had nicer things. So I had gotten rid of a lot of my shit.
I remember that, where you didn't have the fucking furniture that you
needed. Yeah, I gave up my shit. So my house, when she came and got her shit, it was empty as fuck in here. It was just
like a divorce.
Oh my God, it was so horrible.
Without the wedding.
Yeah, she took some of my stuff, and
oh my God,
it was too much. It was yeah, it was too much. I was like, oh my God. And so, I mean, it was empty because I had friends come over and they was like, God damn, this empty as a motherfucker in here. And I I mean, because she had the house, it was, it was all decorated. It was like pictures
Yeah.
and stuff, candles on the wall, and just all
Wow.
kind of little trinkets and things here, and bookshelves, and then you just walk in my house, and it was like, hello, hello.
Oh, fuck.
Is anybody here? Is anybody here? Like, it was like, it's that kind of shit. So,
Sucks.
um,
I hate that.
but I had to go through it. And I got to be honest, I missed the sex, but at the same point in time, I was like,
Do you miss her personality at all, or like
no,
the
I do
time
not.
you had together?
Uh-uh.
God damn.
Um,
And that was just, so it was really just strictly for sexual companionship.
yeah,
God
it
damn.
was fucked up.
Jesus.
And like I said, it was just better in the long run. And then me and Catherine started dating, and we fell in love and everything. So took that little break for about a year, and then started dating Catherine, and it was a wrap. So, and then I thought I was happy, and it just didn't work out the way I thought. So, there you go. But I think that's it. I think
Jesus.
I don't know how many more confessions I have now. I think the party is over. But this was. I always feel so drained, and thank you for confirming that I have a small penis, and
I didn't confirm that you have a small penis.
that you are now not interested in allowing me to
Oh
pleasure
my
you.
God. Didn't
And,
happen.
and
Fake
then
news.
and I was like, I still feel like I could pleasure you. I would just have to work a little harder than other people. And just since I don't have 17 feet, of peni.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
but it is, oh my God. I'm just, like I said, I'm mortified. I can't believe
Ah,
I,
come on.
I
This
was
is good for
just,
you.
you're the only person I would send a horrible picture of my penis to.
You're
And
the only person I would send a boob pic to.
it makes me feel special because your
So,
boobs were divine. So thank you.
you're welcome, sir.
But, well, Anna, I love you. But
Okay.
the party is over. This was a great show. I thank everyone for hanging out with us. Uh, can't wait to get this one loaded up on all the streaming services. So I'll have to do that. I'll have to stay up and rip all the audio and everything so that everybody can hear this. We want our iHeartRadio people and iTunes people and all that to hear that horrible truth that my penis is inadequate.
Oh, for heaven's
But
sake.
but let me do my fancy outro. Hold on. Ray Thulu. Before I go, he says, Antonio, even a redwood looks small next to Mount Everest.
Oh,
Shrink the belly. Yeah. Well, I
there
mean,
you
I am
go.
trying.
There
I
you
mean,
go.
a year and a half ago, I was 394 pounds,
What are you at now?
332.
It's not bad.
Yes, I'm trying. So hopefully, I will continue to lose more weight, and it'll be divine. But but again, love you, dear. Thank you for hanging out as always.
Anytime,
You
sir.
are the perfect co-pilot.
For your
And
sinking ship.
oh God, yeah. You saw my vagina. It was not good.
Oh, for
So
heaven's sake.
uh,
You
I
have a
would
good
show my
night.
vagina on the screen, but
I don't think you should.
I would get into so much trouble from the tube. So um, with that being said, I'm gonna wrap this video up. And if you guys want to reach out to me, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and right here on this YouTube channel, everywhere is at Akari Press. And if you type in akaripress.com, it will take you directly to my Indiegogo campaign for my comic book series brand with the phenomenal Canaan White. We're on Teespring. We're on Amazon.com. The links to those are in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sexy Party is over. Say goodbye, Anna.
Goodbye, Anna.
Every fucking time with this broad. Oh my God.